Lazy people are the most productive? That can't be right. Can it? The age-old belief is that hard work and hustle are the keys to success. Putting in long hours, grinding until you're exhausted, that's what achievers do, right? Well, what if I told you that approach is completely backward? That the lazy people who avoid burnout and conserve their energy are actually the ones who outperform? It's a counterintuitive idea, but one that's backed by science and the success stories of innovators and top performers. By mastering strategic laziness, doing less but being more intentional about energy management, you can unlock incredible productivity, creativity, and work-life balance. You'll get more done in less time while avoiding the traps of stress and overwhelm. So, are you ready to become lazier and start outperforming everyone around you?
Those people who enjoy thinking and who really like to engage in cognitive effort, we found that they had lower levels of physical activity.
The most dangerous people in society are lazy, ambitious people.
Brilliant, but lazy.
When we think of laziness, we typically picture someone lying on the couch binge-watching TV and avoiding any effort or work. An unproductive slacker, right? But this conventional view completely misunderstands the nature of laziness. True laziness isn't about doing nothing, it's about doing things in the easiest, most efficient way possible. Take Bill Gates' famous quote, "I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it." Gates recognized that lazy people possess an innate drive to avoid unnecessary toil. They naturally look for shortcuts, hacks, and optimizations to make tasks simpler and less effort-intensive. In that sense, laziness is the mother of innovation. Some of history's greatest inventions and efficiency breakthroughs emerged from the minds of those focused on working smarter, not harder.
When I was 13, I wanted to grow my own garden. I loved the idea of being able to grow my own vegetables without the help of others. The only problem was, I am an incredibly lazy individual. Give me a task to complete and I'll come up with 10 different ways to avoid doing it. So I wanted to grow my own garden, but I didn't want to have to go to all of the effort required to do so. Things like watering my plants, tending to them, checking for pests, anything like that. So what did I do? Rather than giving up, I used my 13-year-old mind and came up with some solutions. In my first garden, I stacked a hose against 2 vertical bricks to create a sort of home irrigation system.
The wheel, the lever, the combustion engine, all stemmed from humanity's lazy pursuit of better living through less effort. This redefines laziness from a negative trait into one of efficient energy management. Lazy people naturally conserve their limited life force and channel it strategically into high-impact activities and solutions. Rather than wasting effort on busy work, they prioritize and streamline to multiply their output. Of course, laziness taken to an extreme becomes apathy or true sloth, but when balanced with motivation and deployed intelligently, it's one of the most powerful productivity mindsets. As a popular Bible verse, Proverbs 24:30 states, "I walked by the field of a lazy person and by the vineyard of one lacking sense." The lazy avoid aimless wandering and instead pave intelligent, low-effort paths to their desired destinations. Having more free time and open mental space allows the lazy mind to make new connections and see innovative solutions. Studies show idle periods can greatly boost our creative output. One famous study by researchers at Stanford had participants take creative tests involving word association before and after walking through campus. The results? A person's creative output increased by an average of 60% when they took the test after their outdoor stroll compared to beforehand. Just the act of getting out for a lazy walk, giving their minds a break from focused work, unlocked whole new levels of innovative thinking and idea generation. The researchers concluded that our minds desperately need these pockets of downtime in order to synthesize information and forge new neural connections. Many great writers, artists, and thinkers throughout history instinctively embraced this need for idle creative time. Aristotle famously conducted lessons while strolling around Athens. Charles Dickens was known for his long, meandering city walks as a reprieve from writing. Even modern business figures like Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey incorporate frequent solo walks into their workdays. By allowing your mind to disengage from narrow focus and just wander, you give your subconscious the freedom to play and experiment with concepts. That's when breakthrough ideas occur, through spontaneous combinations and permutations of existing knowledge. So don't feel guilty about penciling in lazy periods of purposeful solitude or mindless walks. You're actually setting the stage for your next creative epiphany by letting your mind roam where it wants to roam. As Carl Sandburg wrote, "Nothing happens unless first." A dream. Working smarter trumps working harder when it comes to productivity and results. This aligns with the famous Pareto principle or 80-20 rule. In most situations, 80% of outputs come from only 20% of inputs. For example, 80% of a company's profits may come from 20% of its product lines or customers. The key is identifying and doubling down on those vital 20% activities and inputs. Lazy high achievers instinctively understand this concept. They avoid getting bogged down in low-impact busy work and time wasters. Instead, they deliberately pare away the non-essentials to laser focus on just the mission-critical 20% of tasks, projects, or personal investments that will multiply their results. This offsets two main productivity pitfalls: unnecessary processes and switching costs from multitasking. By being lazily efficient, they eliminate procedural bloat and linearize their workflow. Furthermore, the lazy leverage technology and automation to remove repetitive, tedious work from their plates entirely. By setting up systems and scripts to handle rote tasks, they free up immense bandwidth for higher leverage cognitive labor that can't be easily automated. As former Chrysler CEO Lee Iacocca put it, the discipline of knowledge application revolves around creating leverage by removing labor or using labor-saving methods. The lazy are masters of this discipline, doing only what must be done by them in the simplest, most direct way possible. One of the biggest obstacles to embracing strategic laziness is our cultural conditioning around the ethics of work. From an early age, we're taught that hard work, hustle, and busyness are virtues. Resting or pursuing leisure can breed feelings of guilt or shame. This ancient philosophy does nothing but burn us out and send us chasing endless busyness as a proxy for productivity. A much healthier approach is to resist the urge to equate your self-worth with your work output. Lazy high performers understand the importance of intentionally scheduling lazy periods into their routines. Rather than sporadically resting only after they're already depleted, they bake rejuvenating downtime into their calendars as a recurring investment. By proactively taking cognitive breaks throughout the day or week, they ensure they're operating at peak energy levels during focused work sessions. It's the difference between keeping your phone charged versus running it until the battery is critically drained. This simple reframing from lazy as irresponsible idleness to a conscious recharge ritual is incredibly powerful for work-life balance and sustainability. No more burnout, overwhelm, or guilt about taking personal time. Those periods become just another phase of your productive cycle. As research shows, overwork inevitably leads to diminishing returns as fatigue and stress mount. But by preserving periods of disengagement and restoration, you maintain high effectiveness when efforts are required. Let go of your culturally conditioned productivity guilt and give yourself full permission to be lazy through intentional oscillations of focused work and rejuvenating rest. Your health and results will thank you tremendously, especially when you are older. Lazy high performers understand that productivity isn't about rigorously managing your time. It's about intelligently managing your energy. While we all have the same 24 hours a day, our bodies operate in natural cycles of energetic peaks and valleys. Instead of fighting against these rhythms or trying to maintain a culturally imposed 9-to-5 schedule, the lazy approach is to plan around them. Identify your personal hours of peak energy, focus, and creativity, and zealously guard those times for your highest leverage work. For many, these peak productivity windows occur in the morning after waking up. Others may be night owls who do their best work during evening hours. The lazy don't judge. They simply observe their individual patterns and design their ideal day accordingly. Outside of those precious peak periods, don't force effortful work when you're running low on fuel. That's the ideal time to embrace restorative lazy behaviors. Taking a walk, doing light chores, napping, or working on more rudimentary tasks suited to lower energy states. The lazy also understand that for every unit of energy, there must be a corresponding intake and recovery period. You can't burn the candle at both ends indefinitely. By planning regular doses of rejuvenation into their schedules, they ensure their energy reserves never run out. These might include full days or half days of total unplugged rest, or frequent micro rests like meditation breaks, doing light stretches, or just getting up to look out the window for a few minutes. Like world-class athletes who meticulously plan training and recovery cycles, lazy high achievers are perfectly in tune with their body's need for oscillating expenditure and replenishment of energy over time, working at ferocious intensity for short bursts, followed by equally intense periods of idleness, digestion, and regeneration. Redefining laziness unlocks a better path to high performance. Instead of endless hustle, we tap into our natural energy cycles. We use lazy periods not as time wasters, but for creative breakthroughs. We're lazy in clearing busy work so we can focus energy on what matters most. And we schedule recovery time. It's a mindset shift, working smarter over harder, prioritizing intentional efforts over busyness, challenging urges to be productive if it's not high leverage. Mastering smart laziness takes practice. One way to develop this? Watch my recent video, Why Broke People Can't Resist Luxury Fashion. It explores psychology driving overspending on status symbols in money shame cultures, and it reveals lazy cognitive biases we're all prone to with money and social capital. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to watch more videos like this.